Okay, so I've started this and stopped this a couple times because I decided, no, I played a tiefling in the last thing. I want to play a different race this time. And I've decided, but I really kind of liked the character concept I came up with. So at this point, I've recorded and deleted the start of this Let's Play several times. Um, and I already have made the character I want to play. And that's the one I'm going to go with. Not this one. Not this one either, because level 5, I've already been playing her a while. Not her. Here we go. This is the character I want to play, who's a tiefling ranger. Um, this is what she's going to end up with, because I think I got a pre-order bonus, so I get to start with nicer things. But I'm going to rebuild her. So, sorry Layla, I'm going to delete you and we're going to rebuild you and hopefully it'll come up looking exactly the same. So, that I can show people rebuilding her. Now, this is a Forgotten Realms game, but I protested calling it a Dungeons & Dragons game, and you'll see why. Um, its system is not really Dungeons & Dragons, and I can see why it kind of did poorly. Not because it's a bad game, but because they marketed it as D&D. And people were expecting D&D, not this game. This game is actually quite, from what I've been able to do, play a little bit of. I haven't finished any of the campaigns ever, but what little I've been able to see, it's actually quite a decent game at the core. It's just not Dungeons and Dragons. Now we are going to go with, oh, we don't want to do the sub race. We want to do the race. We are going to go with Ranger. We are going to go with Tiefling, and we're going to go with Entertainer. There is no Bard. Otherwise, I would make her a Bard. That is not the outfit we're going to end up with. The hairstyle we're going to end up with. But let's go to appearance. We're going to zoom in. I think we had a mildly reddish. I almost went with the darker, but I think I went with a mildly reddish. I do not like that hairstyle. Did not do that. I did... Did I do that? No. No. No, that wasn't that. I don't like the 50s big hair look here. That, I think, was it. Was Yes, and it was white hair. But I'm going to get a little bit... No, that's too dark. No, it was the white, I guess. Could do that. No, it was the white. Okay. Complexion was not clean. Wasn't that either. That's that really scarred up complexion. There would be some heavier scarring up there too. We're going to go with this. You had some bad stuff happen to you at some point. Eyes, I think I went to the blind eyes. That's pretty common for tieflings though. Let's see what other eyes I can do. I think... There we go. That kind of grayish blue. The eyelid height. This we're going to have to click and hold and drag. I don't want her too narrow-eyed. I want her kind of looking a little bit wide-eyed. A little bit naive. Despite the massive scar on her face, I want her to look naive, or look, look like she's. I mean, the scar is going to make people a little bit wonder why make her wonder at being actually naive. But I'm going to twist the eye angle up a little bit. Eye size, I kind of like in the middle. Eye spacing. Could space it a little bit wide apart, not close together. That looks very odd. I could space a little wide apart. That looks okay. Go to the nose. Don't want a big nose. Kind of want a smaller nose. Nose depth is kind of pointing. Kind of want it a little bit pointed out. Kind of fairly nose width. Do I want it wider? It doesn't get too wide. That looks okay though. I could get all the way out here. It stops widening at about this point. It stops widening. So it doesn't get... The scroll bar here is misleading. The bridge width. And do we want it a little bit big? Oh, I want a narrow bridge width. Okay, cheek and jaw. I do not want a wide cheek. I do not want sunken cheeks either. I like an angular look, so I'm going to pull them in narrow. Cheek height, don't want too high, but higher than not. There we go. Don't want that too wide, don't want it too narrow. Want it on the narrow side because I like that angular look. Neck width, too wide, might be good. Too narrow looks freakish. A little bit wider than average, than the middle. A little bit wider than that. That should do. Chin depth, we could have the Bruce Campbell, or we could do this. Problem with pulling all the way back is it starts to clip on some other piece of itself, so we don't want that. But there we go. Lips and ears. I like thinner lips. The fuller lips look really ridiculous in this game. I kind of like the Arch-Age computer character customization. I wish that more games had to that degree, but I can see how difficult it would be. Now we can have them all the way horizontal, or we can pull them back. I am going to pull them back. That's a little bit too much. It looks a little bit odd with the clipping in there. I'm going to... It's still clipping with the hair a little bit, but it's not so noticeable. It's okay. And the horns and tail. I'm going to keep the ringed horn, the rings on the tail. To tell you the truth, it's the only option is rings or no rings. So yeah. Now to the horn. If I could get horns that were asymmetrical or broken, that would be cool, but you can't do that. And I kind of wish I could get option for horns that didn't take up so much of the forehead, but that's not an option either. We are going to go with this here, like that. And we are going to go with the longbow, but we're going to go with the leather cuirass instead of the leather vest. Let's see if the other boots look better. Yeah, I'm going to go with the original set of boots. We could also do simple boots, which actually look kind of cool. We could also have done scale mail, and it's kind of shiny, but I like the leather cuirass a little bit better. It's probably better in the long run to do the scale mail. We're probably going to end up there, but anyway. As you saw, I have pre-order equipment coming up, so this is all going to change. Okay, so dexterity needs to be fairly high. Okay. Constitution, intelligence, up to 10, I think. Wisdom, decent because of a ranger. Just because I'm main character, and because this is a... don't want strength to be 9, do we? We're going to be mostly doing longbowing, so I guess that's doable. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's doable. Now we're going to get to the part that is a little bit off. of D&D. So far, it's pretty basic D&D. But this is where it gets a little bit off. These are where you start doing abilities. So instead of like choosing an archetype, I actually wish D&D itself worked a little bit more like this, so you could mix and match a little bit instead of having straight cookie cutter. But as it is, we are going to go with archery. We get this automatically because we're a tiefling. Kind of interested in that. We already start with favorite enemy. Hide in plain sight. I am going to go with Beastmaster. Huzzah. Okay. We have 1 point remaining. Now, archery, we are not going to be going into two-weapon fighting, really. We're probably not going to go into martial. We are probably going to go into Hunter's Mark a little bit more. But to start with, we could get Long Strider, which is bonus movement. But I think to start with, I am going to get healing. And I could... Now, this has archery stuff. It's actually kind of magic, like a Hail of Thorns. Here's Conjure Volley, though. Splinter Armor. Lightning Arrow. This is magical archery. This is for AoE type stuff, melee type stuff. This is archery. This is all archery. That's tiefling stuff. There's nowhere to improve all that. We could have gotten up to the heavy armor, but no. We got all the weapons we could want. We're going to want to eventually get the search up here a little bit, but we're not there yet. So we're going to have a pet wolf. You don't get to choose. It's just a wolf. So, and Laila. And let's find a nice portrait for her. There we go. That one makes her look a little bit younger. Now, you'd think, and this is like the third or fourth time I've said this, you'd think that Wizards of the Coast, having access to the rights of things like Baldur's Gate, I assume they have that, Baldur's Gate or Neverwinter Nights, would have had access to tons of vocal assets. Instead...
Hello there. Might I have a moment of your time? Hello there.
Greetings. Excuse me. Greetings.
Yes. Hi. Psst, come here a second. Yes. Hi.
Well met. Very well. Listen up. Very well.
We get
Might I have a moment of your time?
4 options.
Yes.
I'm fairly certain they're all the same voice actress. Oh well. Now, favorite enemy. You're going to choose one. As far as I know, you only ever get one. My suspicions are that Fiend would be a good late game choice. I am going to go ahead and go to Humanoid. It gives us 2 options. And I'm going to make it Human and Orc. For alignment, we're going to choose Neutral Good. And for deity, and I said it correctly that time, I am going to go with Sihanin Moonbow, since I did it by chance before. One of the other NPCs you run across is a cleric of Sihanin Moonbow, and Sihanin Moonbow figures heavily in the setting, in the backstory of the campaign. So that'll be interesting. To be greeted with stares and whispers, to suffer violence and insult on the street, to see mistrust and fear in every eye, this is the lot of the tiefling. And to twist the knife, tieflings know that this is because a pact struck generations ago infused the essence of Asmodeus, overlord of the 9 hells, into their bloodline. It used to be tieflings was a broad category of anybody whose blood went back to the lower planes. Now it's a very specific category of that. And so other people... so I'm guessing, however, that, as I say that, however, because the Wizards of the Coast officials have officially said they wanted Tiefling to be a more specific variety of that plane touch thing, where they're specifically the Asmodeus branch. But as I say that, the way they've been doing the other types of plane touched individuals are as variant tieflings. So they're a little bit do as I say and not as I do a little bit on that, but it's kind of a piddly thing to complain about that. Anyway, and you can always categorize it yourself. Anyway, yeah, because originally when second edition tieflings came out, they didn't all look this way. Some of them looked very human and had some other weird trait to them. Maybe they had a cat tail or cat eyes or something, or maybe they were a little bit, their skin was a little bit slimy, or maybe there was a sulfur cloud that followed them. It was always some tell, but otherwise they looked pretty much human. This was one. This look got ever more common as time went on. You will not be able to edit this character once you complete character creation. Are you sure you want to continue? And accept. And we're going to go to Sword Coast Legends. We're going to do new. We're going to do it normal. And we're ready. We're going to hit start game. We're going to do that in the next video. See you then.